Okay, we are recording. It being the evening of Wednesday, May 18th, and a quorum being present, I'll call the meeting of the Conservation Commission to order. Pursuant to Governor Baker's signing of the Senate Bill 2475, an act related to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, the Bellingham Conservation Commission will meet utilizing the Zoom online option. Instructions and invitations are available at the town website at www.bellinghamma.org. Moving forward in this meeting, the chair instructs the meeting administrator to withhold access to speak at the meeting until or unless such persons requesting to speak are visible on screen and respectfully request such access. Okay, so we will proceed with the opening of the first continuation.
No, this is a new hearing. Sorry. This is a new hearing.
Oh, it is the amendment request. Sorry, Steve. The Bellingham Conservation Commission will hold public hearings in accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act, General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Bellingham Wetlands Protection Bylaw on the amendment request to Order of Conditions, the EP file number 105-864, and Bellingham Wetlands Protection Bylaw -230 for modifications proposed to the roadway and stormwater basin elevations for the Bellingham Estate subdivision located at Assessors Map 72, parcels 13-1, 13-2, 14-0 through 14-7, and 14-16, South Main Street, Center Street, and Cross Street, Bellingham. Steve O'Connell, Attorney Point Engineering, Sutton, Mass., has submitted the filing on behalf of Fargon LLC, Millbury Street, Worcester. The hearing will be held online via the Zoom option on Wednesday, May 18th, 2022 at 7. Okay. So for the record, we had an informational presentation where the presentation was made by the applicant's representative. During that hearing, during that meeting, the commission had an opportunity to ask questions, seek additional information, some of which was the reevaluation of test pits in the main basin and forebay that were required or requested by the commission due to the fact that there would be an additional 2 feet of material removed from the basin as originally proposed. So, as we always do, we recap our field evaluation. The deep hole test that was performed in the forebay showed that they had approximately 2.5 feet of separation to groundwater. 2 feet is the minimum. We went into the main basin itself and we found around 7 feet of separation to groundwater. So I believe that the commission's concerns in this regard are answered. Now, that's for the record. I'll turn it over to Mr. O'Connell.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me, members of the board and commission, and abutters who are in attendance. Yeah, officially, this request of the commission is to amend the order of conditions issued for project known as Bellingham Shores. If you find or hear this project being referenced as Harmony, that's the name that's been assigned to it by Fargon LLC. You'll see that on marketing materials, and it often be referenced as Harmony. So don't be alarmed. It's the same project, but this is how things go. Mr. Chairman was correct. We successfully performed some test pits that were witnessed on Monday. The groundwater separation we had hoped for was achieved. 2.5 feet in the forebay and about 7 feet in the main basin, which was great. We found some consistent material, consistent with the test pits done previously. Therefore, the requests that we're amending, which quick summary is the lowering of portions of the site roadway and infrastructure system, including this large primary detention basin, 2 feet, reduces the number of vehicles, truck trips specifically, of over 2,000 for the material that would have been needed to construct the project roadways and infrastructure, to the approved plans. And, the reason that was uncovered by my firm was when we took the project over for the applicant, who purchased the project. Fargon purchased the project from Bellingham Residential Realty Number 2, which is more commonly known as Fafford Real Estate. We did some verification, specifically down on Cross Street where the sewer is going to tie in, and found some errors that occurred from the prior surveyor. Those errors required that we connect to a different sewer manhole a little further down the road, lower in elevation. That lower elevation allowed the whole site to be lowered. Again, confirming that we weren't going to be too close to groundwater, finding that balance was worked out wonderfully in this case. Sometimes it could have backfired. It could have been a problem, but luckily there was a sewer manhole downhill that could be tied into, and luckily groundwater conditions were what they were. And I think in this case everybody benefits. Significant amount of material not needed to be imported, which keeps trucks off the road, which makes construction go quicker and smoother, still meeting the intent of the project by reducing the elevation of the basin and having less fill. The horizontal extent of the grading of that filled area is brought in from limits of work and buffer zones, all illustrated on the plan. And as a result of the meeting of the soil testing on site, and depending on the outcome of this meeting, we will provide the commission with what I would consider, final amended plans that don't include that red and black topographic overlay, because we provided that at the request of the peer reviewer so they could see the comparison of some of the topographic discrepancies. So for housekeeping and cleanliness sake, we would provide those to the commission, again, subject to any other things that may be requested at this meeting. So I hope that's enough of a recap. I'm happy to get into as much more detail as may be needed, but thought maybe I would stop confusing people and leave it there for now.
Well, I don't think there's any confusion. I think we established quite clearly at the informational presentation that the result of the discrepancy was because the previous information for the permit that was issued was provided by a flyover. The flyover was inaccurate, and between the use of LiDAR and field shot survey, proper grades have been established. And I'll open it for questions from the commission. Anybody have any questions on this?
No, sir.
I think we got it pretty well covered at the informational hearing.
I think you're correct. I want to thank the applicant's representative for meeting us in the field and providing that extra layer of comfort that I think the commission required. Everything's satisfactory. I believe that the permit has been distributed. It's an amendment to the original order of conditions, essentially stating that due to unforeseen circumstances, certain grades on site have changed, but due to peer review, evaluation, and commission representatives in the field doing physical site inspection, that those concerns have been addressed. If there's no further questions or comments, I will entertain a motion to close the hearing and issue the prepared signed amended order.
So moved.
Mr. Neal,
Second.
Ariane. Is there any further discussion?
Is that Noel or?
No, it was Ariane.
Okay.
No further discussion. It's a small meeting tonight because it's a special meeting. I will ask for a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I recognize 4 ayes. Opposed? There are none. It's a unanimous vote.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. We look forward to continue to work with you. Construction will recommence as early as Monday. We will be in touch with you, and just for proper notification.
Certainly, and you'll be getting those revised plan sets out to me.
Yeah, you'll have them in hand by week's end digitally,
Yep.
likely before week's end.
Okay, super. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. See you soon.
Okay. Okay, our next hearing is scheduled for 7:30. It's a continuation. However, we have a person here who the administrator has advised me that might have an issue. We have 15 minutes. We can address what issue Mr. DeAngelis may have. Would you please turn on your camera so we can see you? And you'll have to turn on your microphone. If you-
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for allowing me to check in with all of you. So I do have a question. I know that I spoke to Anne on the phone, and I had just received a document a little before you ended up going into meeting, and I was able to send it over to Anne. And I just didn't know if we were able to take a look at it during the meeting and talk with it in between before you have your next hearing with the next party.
I think what we want to do is we want to clarify the status of the lots on Railroad Street. It seems
Sure.
there's a lot of confusion relative to the process that's going on. If you have a specific question, I'd be happy to answer that.
Sure.
Okay.
So yes, I guess I'm confused because up until this point, we hadn't been notified of any potential wetlands located on our property, which would be lot 2. And it seems like now there is concern that there maybe is either a wetland located that hadn't been properly identified, or that there is a wetland that is located, I believe it might be on lot 3, that is now potentially impacting the location of our home and septic system.
Okay, that sounds like a legitimate concern. And that's why normally before any building permits or subdivisions are completed, resource areas are identified in the field. And we have received to date 0 information on what resources are present on the sites. And so we can't allow construction until these resources are properly identified and the correct precautions are taken to ensure the interests of the Wetlands Protection Act and the Bellingham Wetlands Protection Bylaw are met. It's a standard procedure for every single shed, swimming pool, addition, single family house, subdivision, warehouse. These are the standards that apply to everybody. And until somebody gets a confirmation of what physically exists in the field, it's hard for us to issue a permit.
And I completely understand that. I guess my follow-up question to that would be, so we've been working with land planning, if you weren't aware. So I guess, was land planning supposed to have sent something over that they didn't? Because as far as I know, in the plans that I have received, and they've been submitted to the town, they included whether or not there were wetlands located on our property. Is that not the case, or did conservation maybe not receive that?
Well, first of all, the commission has received nothing from land planning. relative to the identification of resource areas. Now, I don't know what plans were sent to whom. I suspect that plans were sent to the zoning board so that you could get a backlot subdivision. However, no plans seeking identification of resource areas have been submitted to the commission. But the plans that the administrator did see showed that there was a culvert in place under driveway, and in our 38 years of experience, if there's a culvert, that means there's water. And if there's water, that means there's a source for the water. And that means there's a resource area that hasn't been identified. And that's what we need to do. We need to identify the resource area and find out if all the precautions that need to be taken to assure its protection are taken.
Okay. And that culvert is located on the easement for the gravel driveway for lot 3. So I guess, is it possible that we are able to begin construction on the home and septic, which is located nowhere near that easement or the potential culvert that is located on the property?
Well, we have no identification of resource areas. We don't know. We don't know if there's resource areas or not. And many times homeowners will come to us and say, well, there's nothing out there, but we have not had an opportunity to inspect the site and review whether or not there's resource areas. And we don't do these things informally. If there is any question whatsoever, there's a simple form that could be filed that would identify resource areas in the general vicinity. It's called an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation. And then the commission goes out and says, okay, here's the whole area before it's subdivided. These are the resource areas that must be protected, and these are the performance standards that must be met. And so we have nothing. We have absolutely nothing. We have no idea what's out there. And until we have an official filing to go out and look at it, we can't release any kind of activity until we are certain that there'll be no impacts.
Okay. Thank you for answering those questions. And I guess, so the next meeting is the earliest that we could possibly have you. I think land planning was planning on sending something to you by Friday. So if you receive those on Friday and you're able to review them, the soonest that we could possibly get on an agenda and have it resolved with us potentially moving forward is that June 8th meeting, which is your next one.
I'll defer to the
Yes,
administrator.
yes, you're correct. The filing, if they get it to me on time by Friday at noon, yes, that filing for lot 3 would be scheduled for the June 8th meeting. That is correct.
And what we'll do in order to expedite the process is we will make every effort to go out in the field prior to that meeting to identify the identified resource areas and make sure they're accurate.
Okay, then if they are accurate, then it can go to that meeting.
And then we'll know that it's accurate. And if the filing identifies the resource area and the proper protections, then it should be a relatively simple process.
Okay.
Part of the materials that are submitted, Alan, with this filing will be their field delineation forms and transect forms, and we can see what he saw in the soils. And because the resource areas are based on hydrology, vegetation, and soils. So it's an intricate science, and I'm anxious to see what they have submitted for the lot 3 filing, because lot 3, as you know, kind of crosses lot 2, and that's where the culvert is crossing into your property.
And so and the good news here is that the commission is completely capable of doing these field identifications. So it doesn't have to go to peer review. There's no additional expense other than the filing. The commission goes out and will do this.
Okay, is it possible that I can be notified when the lot is being observed so that I can be there as well, so that I can understand maybe what's going on?
You're the owner, right?
Well, he's the owner of lot 2, and we can certainly let you know, as long as the lot 3 owner will let you be there. It shouldn't be an issue. We could certainly let you know when we're planning for that sidewalk, of course.
Okay, yeah, that would be wonderful. And we're a family with the lot 3 and lot 1 owners, so I'm hoping that they won't have an issue with us.
I hope not. We don't want the Hatfields and the McCoys.
No.
Okay, so then,
Okay, so yeah, thank you for clarifying. Yeah, I guess the talk about with everything being submitted, like we had said, maybe to the zoning board or whatnot, there was multiple conversation about the conservation in the wetlands. So I guess that's why I was confused as to why it seemed like this was all of a sudden something that popped up when I felt as if maybe it should have been discussed or brought to our attention at an earlier date so that we could have resolved it sooner rather than later. But
well, I agree. I mean, these things sometimes happen. I know that when we had an opportunity to review the subdivision before it went to the zoning board, we made comments to the town planner saying, gee, it might be a good time now to have order of resource area delineation approved so that everyone knows where the resource areas are, but it fell through the cracks apparently. But we're going to address it now. We'll do everything we can to expedite it. We don't want to hold you up.
okay, yeah, and I appreciate your willingness to expedite it. And yeah, it's really unfortunate if it did end up falling through the cracks, if this could have been avoided, but I understand that there's nothing that we can do about it at this point. So hopefully land planning does get their documentation in by Friday. I know I talked to Betty over at land planning and she said that she was working really hard to get that taken care of, and then we can hopefully schedule that in a way that can be more of an approval and we can move forward with the building permit with no use.
Okay. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you very much. Have a good night. Bye.
Take care
You
now.
too.
And now we are prepared for our
Can
7:30.
I, Mr. Chairman, can I just interrupt for 1 second?
Of
We
course.
Certainly.
still got a few minutes before our 7:30.
Yes.
I'm looking at the assessor's map. Is that lot 12A?
No. Oh, I don't know what it originally was. I don't know what the original lot was. There was a subdivision of one of the properties on Railroad Street. I have no information on it. And it was subdivided into 3 lots.
What's interesting here,
Not according to the town website.
what's interesting here, Neil, is that there was a lot and the lot had a backlot subdivision.
Is it on the south side?
It was on the
East
east side. There
of
was,
the river, south of Railroad. Railroad runs east.
right, south of Railroad,
South of Railroad, east of the river.
correct.
Okay, I see. That's, according to the town, that's lot 12A.
I just haven't updated it.
And the back lot is 12A1.
Well, there was one lot there, and then from that lot, they created a backlot subdivision already. And that was about 25 years ago.
Yes.
And now they're subdividing the remaining land, and they're getting another backlot subdivision. I don't know how that works with zoning. But when the whole thing was being proposed, Ian talked to Jim Kupfer and said, there are a lot of resource areas out there. Before this happens, we should identify the resource areas to make sure that the subdivision meets the lot definition requirement of 90%. And nothing was ever done. And so, now they subdivided it, the zoning board approved it. And we have a situation where people want to build and we need to know where the resource areas are because there could be potential impacts.
Well, according to the DEP wetland and FEMA flood maps, most of the back of that is either wet or in floodplain.
So we need to have the filing
The entire back of the lot is either wetland or floodplain.
and so we will be reviewing that. And we need to make sure that they have 90% of the lot area required, not jurisdictional flood commission,
Yeah, well, we'll need some plans for sure.
except for floodplain, interestingly enough.
Yeah. But
So we're working on it, Neil.
even with the floodplain off, it's still,
I know, it's a substantial amount of resource area back there.
yeah, well, it's the Peters River.
It is the Peters River, and
So,
there are isolated vegetative wetlands out there as well, and that's where our administrator found a culvert crossing and said, well, the culvert means there's water. Where's the water coming from? Is it an intermittent stream? Is there an isolated vegetated
Well,
wetland?
there definitely is an isolated vegetated wetland that was identified, and the culvert is below the isolated vegetated
So does that
wetland.
make it bordering?
And it appears that there's overland flow with arrows on the
and
plan.
that's the current driveway to the backlot home, or is that?
No, it's not the current one, it's the proposed.
Yeah,
Okay,
And so here's part of the problem, Neil. We have no plans.
yeah.
We just see a general concept.
right.
We're, they're making it up as they go along. And they filed for building permits and the administrator wouldn't sign off on them until we had more
The
information.
only one that signed the file for a building permit was lot 2.
Sorry.
That's okay. Bill Housing did contact me about lot 3, and I told him it really needs to file a notice of intent. So the notice of intent should give us a lot of information as to what's going on as far as resource areas are on the 3 lots.
On all of them.
Right. And that's what I'm
Is there a
hoping.
lot that's really long or has like a really long road coming down? And there's like a couple small buildings on it.
I
Well,
don't think so.
no, well, is it the lot to the north?
See,
That's an existing lot that was a backlot subdivision 25, 30 years ago.
I don't have the identification.
We don't have the plans.
I
so,
don't have the lot ID.
I know why they're having some issues.
Well, but even though the assessors show a certain thing, it's been subdivided. So until we see,
Rosenfeld gravel pit,
so that's how old it is.
the landfill.
We're going back many, many years. So the deal here is that we're going to get a notice of intent for one of the lots, and then we'll be able to piece together the resource areas that might affect all of them.
Mhm.
Because right now we have nothing.
Okay. Yeah, we need plans. Okay, and a filing.
And and we're getting one anyway. And from that, we may be able to extrapolate whether or not there's enough requirement for other filings or
Not. Okay,
not.
thank you.
Okay. Okay, so the Bellingham Conservation Commission will hold continuations of public hearings in accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act, General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40. The Bellingham Wetlands Protection Bylaw on the notice of intent for the proposed construction of 124,200 square foot industrial building with associated parking, access, landscaping, utilities, and stormwater management system located at Assessors Map 52, Lot 3, 206 Mechanic Street, Bellingham. John Kuchitz, Bowler Engineering, Southborough, Mass., has submitted the filing on behalf of Wayne Finnegan, Howland Development, Wilmington, Mass. The continuations will be held online via the Zoom option on Wednesday, May 18th at 7:30. Hi, John.
Hey, everybody. How are
Good
you?
evening.
Good evening. Should be pretty simple. At the last hearing, it was requested that we add some signage, some no snow dumping signs at the back of the trailer storage area, which we have added to the plan and added the actual sign in the detail sheets. And those have been submitted to the commission. I think that was really all that was asked for. So we've sent that along, and happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, well, as discussed at the previous hearing, the administrator has worked to develop an order of conditions. It's primarily a finding of facts. And that,
I don't think so.
no?
No, these are the ones that are special conditions.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, that's
The
okay.
finding of facts
That's
was,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Was the previous one.
it's okay.
Okay, that's what happens when you work on a Sunday afternoon.
Get
Okay,
that.
I bet you do.
so the information has been distributed for review. We've received no comments. I hear no comments. No, that being the case, I'll call for a motion to close the hearing and sign and issue the prepared order of conditions.
Chair, quick question. Is the O and M going to be submitted? I didn't see it with the plan set. I referred to it in the documentation, but I didn't see it.
I believe the O and M was submitted for our last meeting, or the last continuation, with a revised O and M, and it was in the Dropbox as well.
Was it a separate document or was it with the?
It was a separate document.
And there's like 4 paragraphs related to snow storage.
Yeah, I just must have missed it. Okay.
So again, I'll ask for a motion to close and sign and issue the prepared order.
So moved.
Mr. Stanley,
I second.
Noel. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, by unanimous vote.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Ann. Appreciate all your help through the process.
Certainly. Thanks.
So now the important information that we need to obtain here is signatures. We need to get a couple of signatures, and we need 2 permits to be signed.
You don't have to hold John
We don't have to hold John up for that. Do you get the order?
up. Yeah, I'm going to send the order to him.
Okay. John, you are free to go.
Well, thank you all, and enjoy your evening, and appreciate the help. Nice seeing you
Thank
again.
you.
No problem.
Bye now.
Bye.
Okay. How can we,
So-
so now with being 2 members short, it's pretty important that we get everybody to sign. We have a couple of more documents that we haven't prepared yet. They're the certificates of compliance for Hartford Village, affectionately known as the chicken coops. The administrator and I were out there this week to inspect the stormwater basin and if you'll remember, the massive septic system. Post-construction, there was concern about erosion. Everything's okay there now, but the sediment and erosion control have not been removed from the site, and people continuously request certificates of compliance, and they don't remove the sediment erosion controls. It's a personal gripe. So this permit won't be issued until that's removed. But we only have 2 permits to sign. Unless they tell us by the time we're going to sign that it's removed.
So I don't know what availability is for,
Would we believe them?
We would look.
we'll.
Thank you.
I'll go
We
out and
have the
look again.
sunbeam followed up. We need to go look.
Yes, we do.
So is everything ready to sign tomorrow morning, Ann, or do you need another day? What do you want?
Oh, no, I have the documents ready to go. Yeah.
I know I'll be around in town either tomorrow or Friday. There's some things at work I have to do about.
Can you just send me an email, because I have a couple of meetings and I would love to see you and be able to handle this. So just send me an email, let me know when you're coming. Okay. I know it's hard for people to come.
I know.
So I can meet you on Saturday if that would work.
With Saturday, can we get some people to come in on Saturday?
I might be able to, but I don't know if I could get up for 8.
You don't know if you can get up at 8 in the morning?
Well, what time can you get up, Ariane? Can you do
9.
9, okay.
You can do 9 on
We
Saturday.
can do 9 on Saturday. If we can get the signatures.
Ann will bring you coffee and donuts to wake you up.
My strategy is to
Take your
sleep for like
shoulder.
5
Oh
hours.
yeah, you can wear your bathrobe, it's okay.
I'm gonna roll out of bed with a dreadlock.
We're all family, it's all good.
Just stick your arm out the window. She'll bring the clipboard right up the window. Yeah.
And what hours are you usually in the office on Friday tomorrow?
Okay, so tomorrow I'll be in, I have a meeting at 9, but I'll be there till about 2:30 or 3. If you want to send me an email, or I can, and Friday we're only there till 1, but I can also meet you on Saturday if that works better for you.
I may try and drop in Friday morning, and I need to get sworn in anyway.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
point.
Okay.
We want you to be legal, Mr. Vice Chairperson.
Hey,
Ooh, I'm living on the edge.
doesn't it work as an alternate if we just swear at him right now as a commission?
I don't do
Just
that.
personal? No?
I don't do that.
Oh.
Get in line, Mike.
Maybe Frank Salamander will be interested in joining.
I'm sorry?
What's that?
Maybe Frank Salamander will be interested in joining.
Oh,
No.
yeah. Well, see, Frank Salamander didn't get my reference to Big Night. So then we knew he was a Zoom bomber.
Hey, I got a question for Amy. Amy? Hello, Amy.
Hi.
Yeah, the planning board meeting last week, they didn't cover High Street. I was gonna bring it up to the Concom only because they did show a change in the stormwater basin on the backside there for that expansion. Did it get postponed or changed, or are they coming to Concom, do you know?
Off the top of my head, I do not.
You know, Mike, I think you need to ask Amy Sutherland.
No, I think, Amy, weren't you taking notes there too?
I was taking notes,
I thought I
but
saw
that
you
was
online.
that was a long meeting.
I know it was, and I had to pop in and out. I thought maybe I missed it. Maybe they covered it really quickly, but given how long they spent on that first item, it was just like. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
off the
about
top
that.
of my head, I'm filled up with the other 3 hours of notes for it. I can check
Okay.
for you though.
No big deal. I just was wondering. So I didn't know, Cliff, you know that they talked about expanding that warehouse next to Campanella, on Campanella property?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
I wondered if it affected Concom because of the stormwater basin being changed on the backside there.
it's outside our jurisdiction, remember? They removed everything from state jurisdiction.
Yeah, okay. The other reason I wanted to ask about it was like, it looks like they want to now create a permanent road instead of just emergency gravel path out onto High Street.
Yep,
That's a real.
planning.
The other issue, the other important thing here, Mike, is that expansion, they stayed out of the 100-foot buffer zone.
Yeah, I saw that on plans too.
Yeah.
They edged forward, but they stayed just clear of the 100.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes,
Probably had
They're learning,
a micrometer out there. They were so close.
probably, yes.
but you know what? They're dealing with Ecotech. John Rockwood created that wetland. And right now, if you go out there, you would not know it hadn't been there for 50 years. It's that good.
2 things, town meeting.
So, okay, annual town meetings next week. I know some of our members are not, one of our members doesn't, yeah, okay, go ahead. Lord it over us.
Listen, I went to my own town meeting last week, so I'm all town meetinged up.
Well,
Points for you. So, and I know Mike usually attends. Anyone who can go there, there's a couple of issues that are pretty important.
July 13th.
And then the July 13th meeting, the way it's shaking out, Ian and I are going to be on vacation. So we would be happy to.
Who approved that?
Yeah, right, huh?
All in favor? Aye.
Nay.
We would be happy to set up an easy meeting for 4 members. However, if that's not going to be possible, we would have to cancel that meeting and do something different.
Did you skip June completely, Cliff, talking about meetings? There's
Well-
June 8th, and there's there also one the 22nd still scheduled?
Okay, yeah, so the June 8th meeting is turning out to be a very busy meeting. I'm expecting 2 or 3 new filings this week. I already have 2 new ones. So we're gonna have a busy agenda, but we'll keep it efficient, running, concise like we usually do. The 22nd, Cliff and I thought we were gonna have a conflict. I think we can work that one out.
I think so.
So we should be all set for the June meetings, but we go into July and I got a little concerned about quorum. So I wanted to ask if anyone has any plans for taking time off, because we have limited number of members now, to just let me know when you're planning to take off. So if we don't have a
That's why I asked
quorum,
about-
then we're not gonna hold the meeting.
Right, that's why I asked about the June 22nd, because I'm usually at my annual meeting now. I'm trying to get out going to it Portland this year, but if I am, because of the Zoom meeting policy, am I allowed to participate? Normally, you have to be in attendance at the town hall to participate and vote on town meetings, town committee meetings, but have they waived that? Could I participate in Portland if I'm in Portland?
No, town meeting, you have to attend in
Yeah, you have-
person.
Yeah.
No, not town meeting, sorry, I meant to say town board meetings.
Okay, well, we're good until July 13th
Um,
Okay, all right, so if I need.
I think it's July
or
15th.
July 15th.
And it's going through the legislature right now. I think they might.
There may
approve
be
some-
an
a
extension.
hybrid type thing, but we'll let you know as soon as we know.
I would much rather do it this way. It's easier for everyone, I think.
Real quickly, I want to just update everyone. I got a call in from our friend Jeff Curley from WS Development. I will be invited to an informational meeting for
WS
a
Development.
WS Development proposal for a warehouse off of Hartford Avenue. Access to that warehouse will be behind the Crossroads Shopping, which we know is behind Home Depot. I don't have any other information at this time. I just wanted to let you know that we're probably going to be getting a filing sometime, maybe by the end of July. They plan on filing with the planning board very, very soon. So if you want to see what those plans are, you can access the plans on the planning board site. Right now, nothing has been submitted. So this will be an informational to just kind of update us onto how the project has changed. At this point in time, I understand that there will be no connection road out to North Main Street. I believe that the limits of work are still going to be the same as they had been approved in the previous order of conditions.
With except for the roadway and the pumping station.
Yes, yeah.
Is that enough of a change? Is that, will
They
that?
would
Oh,
be
no,
filing a
new NOI.
A new notice of intent will be filed. There's no
Okay.
question.
Yeah, the old permit will be dead.
Because
State
we'll have,
and local,
because
Correct.
absolutely,
the old permit that they kept hounding us for extensions for.
right.
Correct.
So there will be that culvert crossing, as you know,
When
behind.
they got funding for?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the one that the funding came through. Yeah, right.
Well, now you see,
Yeah.
It's all in the past.
it's all in the
We're
past.
gonna move
The
on.
good news for us, and as I pointed out when they made their initial request, you guys want to abandon that road because that bridge is going to cost you $6 million.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
So I just wanted to give you a quick update on that. That's another big project that will be in front of us this summer.
Excellent.
If you match that with the project right across the street from that Pizza Uno there, if they're talking about Meehan's project, that'll be a town meeting. That's gonna be an interesting area to be in town in the future.
Yes, the rezoning there, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, rezoning that area.
Oh, you mean where a guy buys residential houses, degrades them, and then says, I'll beautify it by putting in the gas station, that guy?
Yeah, Bill O'Connell and the other planning board members lit into them, those reps, big time at the planning board meeting. I was listening in on that. That took a long time. There were a lot of very aggravated people who were not, including planning board members who were not buying the idea that you should cut off.
Personally, we have no dog in the fight. There's no conservation commission
No.
issues there.
Right.
So-
No, I-
It's all personal opinion and that's it.
So that's the same guy who has like the landfill up on Zillow for sale. It's like a stormwater management system for a landfill, and he's like, it's zoned industrial, but you could turn it residential. I'm like, I know the guy who
where's
recently
this?
rezoned.
Where's this?
It's off of a residential neighborhood near like the school, I think.
In
like-
Bellingham?
Yeah.
A landfill?
Yeah, it's like the former city dump. It's like capped, it has solar panels on it.
Yeah, the town.
Yeah.
Bellingham?
There's
Yeah.
no school there.
I might be confused because there's a couple. I don't know. But it's one of them. And they're trying to sell a lot right next to it that like has some of the landfill on it. It's been on Zillow for like over a year. And they just say it's zoned industrial for a reason, but it could be changed to residential and then you can build your house on it. I don't know if it's even an active listing. Just check it out.
I need.
Hey,
I need more
if you
information.
come in to see Ann,
Yeah,
if you could bring in a plan, that would be helpful because we always like to keep our radar up. Because it seems to me that if it's a piece of the landfill is on private property, there's something funky about that. And I would question the chain of title on that. But you know, if you have information, you could give it to Ann.
Okay.
And we'll look at it. Okay, so I think we're all good. I want to thank everyone for going through the extra effort to attend a special meeting, wrap up some of the stuff, get it off our plate so we can start with a whole new menu.
so just send me an email before you come to the office, so I know you're coming. 'Cause I got meetings and site walks and stuff. I want to make sure I'm there. And Ariane, we can plan on Saturday at 9.
Okay, I put it in my calendar.
Okay,
Okay.
and if anyone else can make it Saturday at 9, that's good too.
Okay.
Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
So move.
Second?
Need a motion to dismiss?
Okay.
Aye.
Oh, all in favor?
Dismiss.
Aye.
Aye.
All right.